Welcome back to the Reliest Reviews. Today's review is focused on 2021's documentary entitled Cocaine Cowboys, the Kings of Miami. And the official synopsis of Cocaine Cowboys is: two childhood friends go from high school dropouts to the most powerful drug kingpins in Miami, in this true story of a crime saga that spanned decades. And I felt like this documentary, it was a really crazy documentary to say the least. You just had a crazy story from beginning to end. And the amount of people that were involved with this crazy Cocaine Cowboys gang is crazy. So here is my review on the matter. The 6-part documentary focuses on two Florida traffickers by the name of Willie Falcon and Sal McLuda, from their rise to the top and their insane downfall that takes over 20 years to happen. And the story does a good job of just giving us a glimpse of who these two Florida traffickers were and just telling us their story of just how they became to be and the amount of power and the amount of just corruption they would do to keep that power, that ranking that they have. And I would say that the first thing that I enjoyed about this documentary was the interviews that happened, as there were many different people interviewed for this documentary, including folks that were a part of the Cocaine Cowboys, associates of the Cocaine Cowboys, family and friends that knew the two Florida traffickers. Like, this documentary does a good job of just having the amount of interviews that it did, because it even had some of the jury members that were a part of their first trial back in 1995 be interviewed as well, because it gets really insane with this story. And I would say that some of the interviews were good, were crazy, shocking, and some of them were just downright sad, with either the betrayal that happens or just the story of their own personal life with what happened after they were associated with the Cocaine Cowboys. Interviews I enjoyed a lot. Another thing that I thought this documentary did really well on was just telling us a story of who Willie Falcon and Sal McLuda was, telling us how they started off as drug traffickers and just giving us a glimpse of just the drug trafficking ordeal, with how drugs were being transferred, how drugs were being sold, and just the amount of money that is in selling drugs, and just showing us just the lavish lifestyle that it is with being rich, having connections. Like, this documentary does a good job of just showing us those stages, those signs as well. And yeah, another thing that I enjoyed about this documentary was the production value. To me, this documentary definitely did have like a high production value when it came to the amount of archival footage that was used, the amount of just confidential documents that was used as well, with the amount of just things that was blacked out when it came to showing us the documents. Like the music as well, I felt like the music that was involved in this documentary, with some movie footage as well, it was just a really nice touch, which is showing us, just helping us, like giving us like the feeling of just what it felt like to be these two crazy Florida traffickers and everything else. And I would say that I did not really have that much bad to say about this documentary, because it shows us the rise and the downfall of these two guys. But to me, I was just really just surprised with just how much connections that the two drug kingpins had, because they had a lot, and I do mean a lot, of just different connections, from police, government officials, jail officials. Like, they had so many connections that sometimes whenever they got arrested, they was able to have like a get out of jail free card, which was just mind boggling, because how? If you have ever heard the quote of "it's not about what you know, but who you know," this documentary does a good job of exemplifying that quote, because they definitely did have a lot of just connections that saved their butts many different times. And the amount of just money that they had too, to just help people blow away, keep people quiet. Like, they may have been good people to the folks of Miami, but to me, they were horrible people as well, because during their first trial, they was trying to put many different people on t-shirts that was about to testify. And sadly, they did. But other times they were able to get away. And even with that amount of just incriminating evidence that they had, it still wasn't enough. Like, this documentary definitely does show just how much the U.S. justice system sucks sometimes, because it took them almost 20 years to try to take both of the boys down due to corruption, due to power, due to just money. Like, it was just crazy with just how much the ball was dropped when it came to the U.S. government and the FBI. They got away with just so much in over 20 years that it was just crazy, to say the least. But out of all, I felt like this documentary was a really crazy documentary from beginning to end that I enjoyed a lot. And how I would rate Cocaine Cowboys, the Kings of Netflix, out of 5 stars. I would probably rate Cocaine Cowboys maybe 4 stars out of 5. So I would say thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment. And until next time, goodbye.